Grover Norquist, president of Americans for Tax Reform. You looked like you were about to jump out of your seat there when we showed you in the tease, Grover. What do you have to say?
This is sad and contemptuous of the American people. They're going to buy gasoline every day, and for a year he told us there wasn't inflation. Now he's admitting to inflation in order to not deal with the recession. I mean, you're covering up one problem he created with another. You can, as Jimmy Carter taught us, have both, and now Biden has accomplished that. Low growth, negative growth for 6 months while inflating the currency at 9%. They used to think you couldn't do that. This bill he put together, I don't know why Manchin put his fingerprints on it, has nothing to do with what he said he'd do. Manchin said in 10 when he was running for office, he said, you never raise taxes during a recession. He just agreed a $300 billion tax increase on new investment. When they talk about we're going to have a minimum tax, they mean companies that invest all of their earnings in building the company, hiring more people, paying people more, building factories, and therefore they have no income because they're putting it all into the company. Those are the people the president is suggesting are cheating. And he wants to tax investing, growing companies. That is a pain that is meted out to workers. For the corporate income tax, 70% of the corporate income tax is paid by workers in lower wages and fewer people working. The rest of it's raising the cost for everybody else.
Grover, you can make the
only good the corporate income tax.
You can make the case he's out of touch with the country. You can make the case he's out of touch with members of his own party who are looking how bad this is. Tim Ryan from Ohio joined us on this program yesterday. He wouldn't even answer the question when I asked if he would support the president in his reelection bid, but he even went on to call for tax cuts in this country to deal with this. This was yesterday. Listen.
People are getting hammered. We need a tax cut for working people, whether it's the earned income tax cut, a general tax cut for working people and small businesses. It's like stuff is bad. It's real bad for people. And so ignoring that or trying to somehow, sugarcoat it, I think does a disservice to the people who are out there struggling every single day.
So there's a Democrat calling for tax cuts. The president just gave a speech. He's calling for more spending and tax hikes on the American people on the day that an official recession is declared. But you're taken aback by that soundbite from Tim Ryan there because he's saying how bad it is. And I think so many people who are feeling just how bad it is in this country, they're looking for that from this administration. For the president to step up to the microphone and not offer a full denial of how bad it is and rework the definition of a recession, but to say he sympathizes and knows that this is a difficult time for people in this country.
It's a challenge for Biden to do this because he caused both of these problems. His spending created the inflation. His regulatory attacks, his threatening tax increases all the time. His effort to have a minimum tax all across the world so that the United States cannot compete by having the lowest taxes. We're going to have to compete by having the lowest wages. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for nothing.
Yeah. So let me get this in here because again, at odds with the country and the way that they're feeling, at odds with members of his own party, 75% of which in a most recent CNN poll say they would not support Biden in a re-election bid, and at odds with economists from Democratic administrations like the Obama era. Mohamed El-Arian put this tweet out right after the GDP number this morning and said, message is clear from the negative U.S. GDP print, an unfavorable miss on jobless claims. The U.S. economy is slowing at a significant rate. Add to that the 8.7% price change in today's data, and the bottom line is clear: deepening stagflation and flashing red recession risk. Here's the press secretary for the president. It butted together with sound of Brian Deese. This is the man who advises the president on the economy. And these were two ways they reacted to that GDP print this morning. Listen.
Now what we're seeing is a transition into stable and steady growth.
Well, we're certainly in a transition, and we are seeing slowing as we all would have expected.
So, Grover, it's not a recession, it's a transition. Your reaction?
So is inflation. Remember, inflation was a transition to higher priced energy, which will be green. It'll be less effective. It won't be on all day, but it'll be green. This spending spree they've got is a collection of earmarks, and they just paint it green and say it's for the environment, but it doesn't get you anything new. It just gets you old things that are less effective and don't create energy all day, or when the sun's not there, or when it doesn't blow the wind.
Yeah. Grover, just by the way, Janet Yellen was speaking a moment ago on the economy, offered really nothing new and no new solutions how they're going to tackle this. But she did reference trying to make people feel better that somehow our inflation rate is lower or similar to other. I mean, I just had my brain room pull it. It just got printed and put in front of me. I mean, the U.S. is still higher than the UK. She cited Canada, Italy, Germany, France, Japan. I mean, our inflation rate is above many other parts of the world. And that is what we are dealing with. Real quick on that, I've got to go.
Yeah. Okay. It's sad, it's unfortunate, and the president needs to start telling the truth.
Okay. Grover, appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much.
You got it.
So there you